Here of free psychic readings, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. My name's Ernesto. I'm your host, and I'm here with Veretta. We'll be here with you guys for the next hour on what we're calling Celestial Intersections Radio, powered by eastrologer.tv. You can pick that up on YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, wherever our show's casting from. So, Uranian Astrology is so much better when you can see it. So, if you're watching from our YouTube stream, be sure to go over to eastrologer.tv so you can actually watch our live stream. It's just so much better that way. I'm sorry if you're on our BTR stream to watch our YouTube cast. Now, I do have a couple of just administrative sort of pieces of information to cover real quick before we get off to our phone lines and start taking some calls here. I see that we have Bryn who gave us a contribution or a donation towards our overhead. So we're going to catch up with you, Bryn, in just a moment here. But I just want to let everybody know that we have had some policy changes as far as like the general readings are concerned on the show. It's come to our attention that doing a general read it's symptomatic of a couple of things. Number one, people ask for general readings very simply because there is so much that is going on in their personal arena that they cannot formulate the words to ask the question for the thing that matters the most. That seems to be pretty the big thing with general readings. And then the other thing too is just the fact that you're wanting to hear something and hoping that we're going to hit on it, but we don't really know what that is. And I understand that we're here to test our skills and to give you guys the best level of service possible, but we need a little bit more direction. So what we're going to do going forward with our general reads is, if that's what you would like, give us some direction. You can talk about health, career, or love. If you want to talk about money, let's say, instead of career, we can definitely do that for you. But to do a little bit of a quick dip into covering everything, that's something we need to be hired for, because that takes more preparation. So we can definitely get in touch with you for that as well, because we do have a subscriber special that's 30 minutes for a half hour for $100, and you get both of us, which is really great. It's actually a discount off of a regular hourly rate. So we do have that available, but I do want to let everybody else know that we did have a question in our YouTube chat stream last week. If there are any other options to getting a reading on the air without giving your birth data. So the answer to that question is sort of. We're working on a private platform with Patreon, which will allow subscribers to get in touch with us over there, and we'll have non-televised broadcasts where we're going to be taking shows and doing questions just like what we do here, so you can just be on a first name basis. But if you're really sort of looking for, like, I want to get a reading on this show because I have a question right now, but I don't want to put all of my birth information out there, then just go over to eastrologer.tv and buy a front of the line pass. You can put in your birth data over there. We need your date, place, and time of birth, as well as your first name. And if you include your callback number, then I can call you here directly from the show, and we'll catch up with you as soon as possible. So that's going to be the best alternative that we have to getting a reading here on the show without having to let all of your stuff hang out. Now, all of that been said, let's take just the first few minutes here. If you do want to give us a call, we're not paying attention to those other chat platforms, so do call us directly. That number is 319-527-6071. Again, that's 319-527-6071. It'll be about the next hour or so that we'll be here with you taking those questions. Now, Beretta, what do we need to know for the week ahead? What are the big energies that are coming up for us this week?
Okay, well, the holidays, this weekend's holiday is set to create, I hate to say this, it's going to create a little dissension. What direction that's coming from, I don't know. I don't know if it's from a personal platform where everybody's going to just go amok. But it's like, if you haven't seen family in a long time and all of a sudden you're having a reunion, there may be a lot of difference of opinion that could create a little bit of tension. If it's one thing in general that's going to raise eyebrows and create a lot of stuff, then okay, I can see that happening as well. I'm just not sure in what direction that is coming from, although when that was brought to me, I got some pretty big hits right away, which I am not going to go public with, but I think because whatever it is, you'll know exactly what it is that's causing everybody to run amok. And for some of us, actually, maybe a quarter of us, and us being people that are in the know and don't let or care enough to let that stuff bug us, um, it might be a good time to lay low, because people are going to be throwing poo. And I don't care who they are. Monkeys throw poo, and they don't care who it is. So if it's something that you can just duck your head down and stay off the radar this weekend, throughout this weekend, I think that would be suggestible. That's what people do, unfortunately.
Let's talk a little bit about alchemy.
In a
I'm
nutshell.
having this experience recently that, I'm attracting the right partner. Essentially, I'm making the right partner. Just to share a quick story with you, I saw this website of another astrologer who trains people to do what they do and that kind of thing. And you can pay this network $500, and they not only are you going to get a reading with somebody who's been certified with whatever they preach over there, you're also going to be put into the matchmaking pool. Now that's a new one. I've never heard of that. That if you pay for a reading, you're also going to be subscribed to some type of Yenta service where everybody's going to be trying to hook you up with all of these great people. That seems super suspicious to me. But the main takeaway is the fact that we don't do that on this side of the fence. What we do is we can say, okay, so here are some likely dates when you'll meet this person. And if you don't meet this person, at the very least, we can give you this sort of side guide or thing to do, this other story that'll distract you from life's big questions about, like, when am I going to settle down and meet the right person? Well, why don't you focus on yourself by distracting yourself and focusing on yourself? That in turn, will attract the right partner. You just don't know that that's really what you're doing. So, what I've had the experience where I'm looking at my chart and I'm saying, oh, I'm expecting to meet somebody here. I'm expecting to meet somebody here, and so on. And I never meet the person that I'm expecting to. But what does happen? There are some pretty monumentous moments or experiences through my own personal journey and healing and everything else, from stuff that's happened in the past and things that I still need to work on myself today. So this has been an ongoing process. So what happened to me then is, when I'm being presented with options now, which is new, like people are interested in me, which is something that I've not really experienced in the past. Spirit's trying to push something onto a silver platter right in front of me, and for that reason, I'm kind of like, well, maybe I shouldn't run away with the first person that I see. There's lots of dates here that I may want to get involved with. So where so many of us who are single and lonely and that kind of thing, we're so quick to just run away and join the circus with the first person who's willing to show us attention and priority. It doesn't have to be that way, though. But I sort of asked myself, I was wondering, so how do I know that the person that I'm talking to is truly the person that I'm supposed to settle down with, not this person the following day that's just sort of out of the blue, that's very similar to what I'm looking for, but it's just triggering some other things that I may not have asked for with the first person. So then you ask yourself, all right, so which one of these people is the real person that I need to settle down with? So, Beretta, here's the question: without doing any of that hokey, when you know in your heart you'll know kind of stuff, is there truly any way of knowing when, if something is a distraction to us from whatever else that we're being presented with?
Yeah, I like that hokey stuff. So yes and no, Ernesto. If this individual is coming into your world because there's going to be a play some point down the road, a lot of times you don't know that, and the reason is because you'll influence it. Bigger than big, you will influence whatever the situation is, and that could really ruin the whole thing. That from the right down to the, they might have been your soulmate and perfect lover, but because you knew that, you're going to now start pushing or making emphasis on it being permanent, and it pushes them away, scares them off. Sometimes when you meet people, you just know, you just do. I'm sorry, you just know that there's a reason they're in your life. You just don't know what that reason is. Those most likely, 99% of the time, are contract individuals. And the reason that they're contract individual, or the reason you know them and that they are contract individual, is because they're meant to be in your life for a specific reason. So of course everything goes up, your instincts kick in, and spirit, is trying to say, there's a reason this person is in your life. Don't run them off. And you follow through with whatever that is, whether it's an intimate relationship that helps you out, you help them at some point, working partner, it doesn't matter what the situation is. If you contract with someone, you're supposed to know they're there for you for a reason. Now, put that part aside. A lot of times people feel that sync, and all of a sudden, they immediately go to, oh, they're my soulmate, they're my twin flame, I can't ever leave them. And they are the worst person in the world for you to have to put up with. But when you meet someone that's casual, that feels right, feels good, you get along, everything seems to be okay, and there's no big aha moment from spirit that says, this is the one, don't mess it up. There's a reason for that. And like I said, it's simply put that if you want them to stay, it has to be organic. If you want it to be good, it has to be organic. If you want it to be something that will, have meaning and last, it has to be organic. It has to be a two-way street for each individual to want to be in that relationship. Not you knowing that it's the right one and you don't want to wait for however long it's going to take, or you want to skip to the, juicy parts, or you don't really want to, you want the gold before you do the mining. So you don't know. You really don't know that that's the one, like I said, because you will be tempted to think, well, I know everything I need to know and I don't need to wait any longer. I'm going to make it happen right now. And you mess it up. Answer your question?
It does, yes. And what you mentioned about things being organic, that is so important, because here's why. With Uranian Astrology, what's really beautiful about what I do is the fact that this is a scientific art form, and that you can follow a practice and procedure to get any answer that you're really looking for, especially when it comes to two people. So like if you look at like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, like those two are twin flames. And in their charts you can actually confirm where these two people really just are so locked and glued to each other. But then, you think about other people that we may meet in life, kind of thing. And I see to myself, oh, that looks really great. That's looking really nice. This could be somebody I could settle down with. But remember that I don't want to be the a-hole that spoils the end of the movie. So at the end of the day, what I do with astrology is really almost a curse, because I may know all of this information, but I can never say anything about it. I can't relay that. I may be able to point my actions in a certain way towards the agenda that I'm trying to push for, but that's really about the best that I can do, because most of the time when you tell people, that, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to get married in a couple of years, you're going to get ghosted from that pretty quick. And I'm only speaking from personal experience. Is, you don't go to a psychic, an astrologer, anybody who has information from outside of this world, and then tell that information directly to that person, unless if this is something that they truly want to know. It's just dangerous, because I had an experience many years ago where this person I was going out with and sort of seeing, this could have really been some beautiful potential to lead towards marriage or a serious relationship kind of thing. But I screwed it up. I spoiled the end of the movie and I got ghosted. I then spent the next 6 months of my life in counseling trying to figure out all of these deep-rooted abandonment issues and everything else. That didn't really go very far for me. But the point of what I'm getting at here is that just because we know something doesn't mean we have to do anything about it. Just let it happen.
Right.
Just let things sort of fall in their own natural time. That's really sort of the best thing that we can hope for.
And it is one of the hardest things for us, as we as humans by nature want to mess with it. So we can't just sometimes let it happen in its own time frame, because we're in a hurry and we want it to happen right now. We've been waiting for it our whole life and we have not got 1 minute to waste. And so that's where you really have to just understand that, if it's meant to happen, you need to go slow and you need to let it occur in a manner that it's supposed to, versus your way. And you got a pretty sure bet that it's going to last.
And remember, very simply, this is truly something that I have to remember in the back of my mind a lot. Man makes plans and God laughs. That is 100% true.
Yeah.
So you think you have this idea of what's going to go down. You're going to get something probably very different. That's how it works out most of the time.
Yeah, most definitely. I have God giggle jokes One of the first ones Spirit brought me was God as man standing on a cliff, looking up at the ledge, thinking, if I only had a ladder, if I had a ladder, I could get up there. And God, can you give me a ladder? And God says, sure. And he gives him one made of rope. So there's that. You aren't going to get everything that you ask for, no matter how nice you say the words. It just isn't going to work like that.
On that note, we're actually going to get off to Bryn here, and we're going to catch up with you, Bryn. Hey, by the way, before I turn on your line, if you're watching our YouTube stream, just be sure to mute that YouTube audio so we don't get a feedback loop. That'll just make the audio a lot clearer. Hi, are you there? Can you hear me right now?
Oh, hi, Ernesto. How are you?
Perfect. I am great. How are you? I'm so glad that you gave us a call and came back to us again. Now, Bryn, I saw in your notes that you wanted to do a general. Now, do you want to do health, love, or career?
Well, yeah, I thought of a more specific question.
Okay, great. What is that?
So I've been told that, So I've been told in the past that that I'm going to do these like pieces of artwork for people. Like if I look at a picture of them, a photo of the face, I get these impressions from the face of symbols or the aura. And I've been trying to do this, and I can't seem to click into seeing what the impressions. I don't know if it's because my abilities aren't totally on the surface now or not. So my question is, do you see that I'll be able to do these kind of paintings, like soul paintings, I don't know what to call them, but just impressions that I get from a photo of a person. I also heard that they saw me doing this at a fair, like a psychic fair, where the person would be sitting in front of me, and then I kind of do the sketch of what I pick up. But man, I've been trying to get this going, and it just doesn't seem to come through, and I'm kind of stumped as to what to do.
Okay, and Bryn, just so I understand, is your intent to make money, like to pay bills kind of thing, or is it just sort of like a side gig that you're going to do?
Well, I want to, it's to serve people. The monetary part is really second place. I want to have the skills I can offer it to people.
So like to work at like a psychic fair or a street fair of some kind, and then to offer this to people.
I do it at home, and they send me a photo of them, and then I mail it to them, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Okay, all right, Veretta, what you got for that one for Bryn?
Okay, so I love spirit painting, and that's exactly what you'd be doing, spirit painting, or whatever modality you use for your renderings.
Right.
So this is what I get immediately for you, Brent. However you're prepping to do it is not the correct way. And why do I say that? Because you're actually inhibiting the ability for the natural aspect of what Spirit's trying to show you to come through. So change up your protocol. Change up how you prep for this in whatever manner or whatever way you do it. Don't do that and try something else. I feel like your intuition is absolutely intact. Spirit can bring you everything that you can possibly imagine, from like people to just one lady does what she calls soul DNA, and she creates from the energy she feels and translates that into what she sees. And so I feel like you can do a little bit of all of it. It's just that whatever you're doing to prep for that session in that day, it's not exactly what Spirit needs to be able to utilize and create a conduit for you. So try switching it up, try doing something a little different, and see what happens.
So has been Spirit trying to contact me to tell me how to do that? Because what I do is I do a little meditation. I close my eyes, I just still my mind, and then I'll look at the photo of the person, and then it's like I'll get a blank usually.
Okay, so this is one of the things that you can try. You can try doing a little scrying to start getting, like, get the ball rolling, get wet, for lack of a better term. You can use a candle. You can use a piece of marble. You can use anything that you can stare into and watch it start to morph in a way, and then start to draw or start to create what you see, or start to create based on the impression that you get. I would also say pay attention to your empath ability. Even though that's not your strongest point, you're more clairaudient, clairvisual, pay attention to your empath ability. Feel your gut. Start to do a little meditation, doing breath work through your solar plexus and where your 34th chakras meet. And start to connect with the feeling of what's going on, and let that feeling then start to take place or shape in your mind. But I feel like you'd be strong at doing some candle work, because that's one of the easiest ways to watch things start to morph. Another way you can
look
do
into
it
a
is
candle?
stare in a mirror. Yes. Yes. Another way is to stare in a mirror that's about maybe 18 inches away from you, with a candle behind you, so that, and it's lit, you're not necessarily seeing the flame, but you're seeing the reaction of the flame around you. And you want to stare right past your, like right at where your curve of your neck and shoulder meet. You want to maybe concentrate 2 to 3 inches away from your body, and that will tap you into your auric field, and then you can start to create what you see, that spirit overshadowing you, so that it can give you what you want. Even though you're concentrating on your body, spirit is still able to feed the information directly related to whomever or whatever it is you just looked at into the system.
Okay.
Now, don't do it like when you're tired. Don't do it when you're stressed. Don't do it when you're in a hurry. Allow yourself ample time frame to just sit and relax, and start to get ready for whatever is going to come. Okay. So Ernesto, can you give more than that?
Yeah, so I'm just taking a look here. So, Bryn, it looks like this kind of thing that you're looking at, this form of artwork, this was something that was probably started, I want to say, in like the past year and a half, that this was presented to you, and or at the very least at the inception of the thought that this is something that I will be doing for myself. That's probably about the last year and a half that this has sort of become a thing. Sort of what's going on right now is just the frustration that's associated with the fact of I'm not getting the results that I want. That's the main thing. And also I think that another sort of issue is the fact that, it's the results that you're really wanting is, like people to pay you, to open their wallet, to hire you, to do that. So that not only just so that they can get what they want, but also that it validates you and your skill, that that you're good at what you do. So this is like another thing where I feel like that you would really benefit from getting yourself out there and practicing, just doing it for free, even sitting on a street corner in a coffee shop with a sign, just for the sake of doing it. That's like what we do on the show here. I feel like that's going to be the best option for you. That's going to be the very, very best thing that you can do to keep yourself busy, is to start practicing this a lot more. And then also, sort of a hot word that you mentioned earlier with Veretta was meditation. This is also another thing that I feel like that as an area of life where you would really benefit from, is that meditation piece. But more so, when we're talking about, like, if you want to talk about what you can do in your meditation practice today, it's not so much of what you're thinking about for the artwork kind of thing. We're talking about more just like a meditation about the future. I don't really know what that refers to exactly, but there's some information in the future that you'll meditate on that will reveal itself to you, and that's going to really give you the information that you need to make this all happen. I do feel like that you going out there and doing some work in this regard, that you will have some pretty good success with it. So now is definitely the time to be doing that. Just don't be so afraid of yourself, or so hesitant about like, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if they're gonna want it, kind of thing, because it's
Yeah.
there. You just have to push through and just make it happen. Because I think that
Right.
this is a skill that you can rely on and that you will be able to use that will actually be somewhat profitable because people are then going to talk about, oh, hey, did you hear about the farmers market? There's this guy who draws your picture, kind of thing, and it's like, and that's going to be something that people are going to get excited about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
Well,
for sure.
thank you both. I appreciate your
You're
help.
welcome.
I'm going to try those methods that you suggested.
Yeah, and
Thank you.
Bryn, I just want to let you know something you can do just to practice, on your own. Scry
Yeah.
on a piece of
Yeah.
metal, like the toaster, or like anything that's a shiny piece of metal. Like what I used to do when I
Okay.
was scry for the purpose of gambling is I would try to intuit what is the
Okay.
next number that's going to come out on the roulette wheel. Well, because there's not really a whole lot of stuff you can scry within a casino setting, the best thing that I could do was to fixate on some really, shiny piece of gloss or metal that was nearby me, and by staring at that and blunting the eye vision, then I started to see it morph and turn into different things. So that's an easy way that you could do
Okay.
that. And candles, I would say, will probably open it up for you a lot faster. But if you want to do something really off the
Okay.
wall that's always available, metal would be the best way to go.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Thank you. That's interesting. Makes sense, though. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks
Absolutely.
for
It
your
was
time.
great to have you on the show, Bryn. We'll
All
catch
right.
up with you real soon. Take care, and until next time.
Yeah. Yeah. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night. Many blessings.
Night.
Okay. All right. And Beretta, are you still there with me?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So I just wanted to make sure about that. And, going back to that conversation we were having earlier about things being organic and, things sort of doing things in their own time, that we don't force it, about being in control, that whole piece of the narrative. This is really hard for a lot of us to understand, that like you just have to let it go. You can't be in control all the time. Or, what's worse is the people who believe that there has to be an explanation for absolutely everything on the planet. Even if it transcends, our comprehension, there has to be a reason why something happened. These types of people really irritate me, so I like to have fun with them. And then when you do things like, how did you know that? Well, it's because it's in your chart, and when they can't explain that, then that kind of puts them into a tizzy. That's always real fun to play with super intellectual types of people. So the thing I was going with this about being taking your own time is, this is so important, because when we try to call the shots, and the more that we try to control a situation, the more likely it is to blow up in our face. That's when spirit says, oh, sorry, you didn't learn what you were supposed to previously. Or like, sorry, but what you thought you were getting, we can't give this to you anymore because you didn't pass the first test that we thought that you already passed. Turns out that you kind of failed that one too. So how do you fail that test? Well, that's because that thing in your life that keeps continuing to repeat itself, that problematic aspect that you just want to say goodbye to and morph and completely change so you don't have to deal with it anymore, it keeps bearing its ugly head. Like I keep getting text messages, or I keep getting emails about such and such subject that is very close to my heart, which is something that I'm totally into. Now, why are you still showing this to me? Because I don't want to do that anymore. Well, it's because I'm being tempted for a reason. Spirit wants to know if that's truly out of my system or not. And remember that when you click on it or when you engage with it, that's really kind of putting bad karma points or negative points into your system. And that's when, this whole alchemy formula that we're working with, am I going to get the thing that I really want by creating it with my own actions? That is absolutely something that has to be done in its own time. Because remember that in the greater scheme of things, there is no such thing as time. It's just a human construct. It's an illusion. So our part of the human experience is everything needs to happen right now, in this moment, or everything is going to blow up and die, and I'm probably going to explode too in the process. All of that is unnecessary, because when you're going through the process to go inside of yourself, to change these aspects of yourself, to attract the things that you really want in life, the things that truly matter, that has to be done in its own time, because that's God's territory, that whole alchemy piece. These are things that transcend our own human comprehension. So if we think that we can call the shots with attracting the love of our life, we can to an extent, but not much more after that. There's always a master plan. There are parameters or bounds that we are allowed to operate within. And when we go past that, then everything that follows begins morphing and changing based on what I did in that moment. So that's why it's so important that we self monitor ourselves and continue to work on ourselves. I mean, case in point, something that's very easily relatable, losing weight, right? You know, like it is my choice to stuff my face with cake right now, or ice cream, or whatever else, or I can have this glass of water and deprive myself of that thing that I really want. What's the scale going to say in the morning? What makes me happy in this moment? These are the questions that I have to ask myself. What's my disappointment going to be if I eat this tub of ice cream and the scale goes up 5 pounds? I don't feel very good about myself in the morning. So that's a disappointing thing. And therefore, I usually say no to those types of things. I judge everything in my life based off of my disappointment. I don't care about you or your feelings or anything for that matter. Because if I have to be able to look at myself in the mirror at the end of the day and feel good about that. And if I don't, then I need to take a look at myself and figure out what did I do to create those feelings that I don't like. So, Beretta, what is your personal experience with alchemy and creating the things that that people want? You know, because you see this all the time with clients and working with them, that people are saying that they want a new job or they want a new relationship or a new house or new car, whatever that thing may be. How is it for other people out in the universe that they're going through this metamorphosis to attract the things that they want? What's the law of attraction piece of that whole story?
Well, the law of attraction is raising your vibration to match that what with you want and allow it to be. Um, you got to humble yourself to do this, but allow it to be what you want, even if it's not perfect. There's, when you look at people, let's just say people wanting a relationship, and they're tirelessly working toward that end, but they're really not looking at what needs to take place on their end to do that entirely. And again, we talk about people that want what they want without really having to work for it. Well, spirit doesn't necessarily withhold anything or punish you per se. It doesn't work like that. What happens then is, when you're ready, when you've done your work, when you've done what you're supposed to, then it takes place. And it's not so much you can't have this because you didn't. It's more so when you're ready, it'll come. When you do the work, it's there waiting for you. Nothing's holding it up but you. I've got a client that really, she's been honestly looking for someone for so long now. She doesn't think it's going to happen. And the reason that it will happen now is because she is not looking anymore for that someone that's going to fix all her problems. And she's now just resigned to the fact that, well, if I don't get anybody in my life, I don't get anybody. I'm just going to keep moving forward. Now she's got the right attitude. Now someone can come, and it will be what she wants, because it isn't Mr. Perfect. It isn't a 10. It isn't a guy that makes this kind of money and has this type of salary, wears these type of clothes. She is resigned to the fact now that if it isn't going to be, if it is not meant to be, so be it. So she's not setting up barriers any longer. She's not creating walls for someone to get past, to climb over, to get to her. She's making it easy. Just be a decent human being that's going to love me for who I am, and that's all I want. Now she has a clear path. Same thing with jobs. No, I don't want the job unless it's going to bring me this salary, and it's going to be this kind of thing, and I'm going to do that kind of work, and it's never going to end in a manner that every other occupation and job I've had will end. If the common denominator is you in all these variables, it's not outside of you that's going to make it better. You're the one that's got to fix it. The alchemy aspect of what you do is based on what you want to create. If you want to create something, get the hell out of the way. Let it happen. We are our own worst enemy when it comes to bringing into our life what we really want, because we want it this way, we want it that angle, we want it this color, we want it, and the spirit's like, yeah, okay, they don't make it like that. I don't know what to tell you. There's not something that you're describing ever out there. So I guess in a way we're not bringing what you want, because you're not allowing it to happen. And then on the other note, I know people that have vision boards are big things. I mean, and they work. When you put your intent, match the vibrational rate to whom you want or what you want on it, it takes place. I've known people that have created their reality based on a vision board, for God's sake. So the alchemy is that you match the rate of vibration to what you want. You have to adjust your rate of vibration to what you want, and you have to let it happen. You know, in the Christian culture, religion, we end prayers with the word amen. In a spiritual aspect of life, you end the act of prayer with so be it, and it is, so it is. That's basically saying, I know it's out there and I'm not thanking you for it. I'm saying I'm ready for it and I'm allowing it to take place. So alchemy works when you understand what vibrational rate you're working with and adjust your vibration as such to match it.
And even if that means beating your head into the wall for the next 6 months or however long because you're still not getting that thing what you want, hey, you know, at least you're raising your vibration. That's the real main thing that we care about, that spirit cares about.
Eventually, you're right. Exactly. Eventually, you learn that your brain is not mush, and that your body, you know, can't do it has no more resistance, and you're just ready to accept whatever comes. And that's really the attitude that needs to take place.
And I do want to get off to our caller from area code 786 here in just a moment, but I want to finish up this conversation about the alchemy piece. Before we do that, it is somewhat important, you know, that we understand that when it comes to these things and attracting themselves, that we get so fixated on the outcome and that it has to be this super stacked up specific way that is, you know, like something that is so odd and rare that the likelihood of you actually getting that is probably going to happen in death, kind of thing. You know, like it's just not cut out for you in this lifetime. So give it up, you know. And like I've always been somewhat perplexed by people where it has to be so black and white and it has to be exactly the way that I want it or nothing at all. I learned this lesson very early on in life that if you don't get what you want, perfect. That's because you did get what you deserved. Now you just have to figure out how to make that work to your advantage. That's the real lesson.
Exactly.
So on that note, we are going to get off to our new caller here from area code 786. Hi, you're on Celestial Intersections Radio. May I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, my name is Leslie. Do you need my last name also?
No, just your first name is all right. Leslie, great. And when were you born?
December the 8th of 1969.
And at what time were you born?
At 7:18 in the nighttime.
7:18. Okay, and you said that you were born, I'm sorry, the year was 1969?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And Leslie, where were you born?
Pittsfield, Massachusetts.
Okay, got it. And would you like a general reading today, or do you have a question for us?
No, just accept the general reading.
Okay, what would you like to focus on? Health, love, or career?
Love.
Love. Okay, perfect. And I'm sorry, the location of your birth, what was the name of that city one more time?
Pittsfield.
Pittsfield. Okay. All right. And Veretta, what you got here for Leslie about a general love reading?
All right. Well, so you've got a very clear field. When I bring in information or when I ask for energy and association to it, I get love. I just get pure love. I think that the feeling that the feeling that I'm getting, the information that you're wanting is that will it ever happen? Will it ever happen? Well, it has happened once and it will happen again, but it won't be the same type of love. It won't be the same kind of feeling. I get that there'll be a completely different reason for this individual being in your life, and that will be exactly what you need, and it will be enough. I feel like to say that it's going to happen right now probably wouldn't be the right answer. But, and so that also tells you right there, well, you've got people around right now. So if it's not going to happen right now, then I guess they're not the one. Yep, that's true. They're not the one. But the reality of it is they can be friends, they can be companions, they can be whatever you want them to be in this moment. It's just not going to be that next eternal love. I feel like you also have someone really guiding you from spirit that is saying, hey, baby, you're not alone. I'm kind of still around. I'm here. I'm watching over you. I'm going to make sure that the person that does come is what you want, isn't going to be abusive, isn't going to be negative, isn't going to be whatever, XYZ. So you definitely have someone that's watching over you, giving you protection, steering you clear of people that can hurt you, or at least making sure that you know they're not the one. And so that when that person does come and it is kind of what you need or want in that moment, it will be enough. It will be what you want. It'll be right. Unfortunately, I don't hear when that's going to take place. I don't feel like it's anytime soon. But I also feel like it's going to happen before your life is over. So, and I know you would think, well, I'm not getting any younger. I get that. But if people meet people in their 80s and fall desperately in love. So it's not that you're out of the making yet. You're a very beautiful individual. You yourself are a very beautiful individual. And you don't deserve anything less than someone that recognizes that. And I think that's going to be the case down the road. I feel like also, I just have to say that this is going to have a lot to do, sorry about that, this is going to have a lot to do with whatever you need physically or health-wise in that moment. So you're going to have someone that blesses you with 100% attention to give you what you need to get over whatever health issue comes up. And so what can you give her?
Yeah. Okay. So taking a look at this, Leslie, are you a counselor?
No.
What is it that you do for work? Because I'm seeing this in such a way that like you do something with love relationships that generates a lot of really beautiful karma points, like helping people out in a good way. What is that line of work exactly?
I'm just a purchasing agent.
Okay, all right. So, because I get the sense that like it is absolutely, and you've been in a relationship previous to this, yes?
Yes.
Okay, good, because it is absolutely a guarantee of your chart that you're gonna have more than one relationship. You know, that's a definite promise that we're not just looking at like a one and done, and then I'm gonna be, you know, an old maiden until the end of time kind of thing. We're not dealing with that sort of thing. You have a lot of love
Right.
relationships that are gonna come to you, and I think this really gets into the conversation we were having at the beginning of the show about alchemy. I don't know if I don't think you were here for that. We were talking about like sometimes you just meet people and you may not know that this is a significant relationship until you just with time that you get to know each other and do things together and you realize, oh, there's something here that I didn't recognize. And it shows its head in such a way that you never expected. It just flows and so smoothly. This is the type of thing that I really feel like is coming to you. You have the potential for a lot of friends here. And you know, these are friends that turn into like romantic, or you know, let's just even say like what I refer to as a special friend, a platonic relationship, just a really good friend who
Right.
understands you at a soul level, who's an activity partner that you love very much but you're not necessarily intimate with. Like there's the potential for a
Right.
lot of these, and like for you to become intimate with these partners, there's the potential for that as well. So just like we were talking at the beginning of the show, that we meet these people and we don't know these things right off, but as time develops, we realize, oh, there might be something to that. So in the meantime, while we're waiting for the things that we really want to come to us, we distract ourselves by working on ourselves in such a way that raises our vibration to match that of what we're looking to attract. So when you close your eyes and you look in your mind about what does my ideal partner look like, to spend time with, to settle down with, like what are their qualities, not physical anything. We don't care about looks. What are their qualities as a human
Okay.
being, as a soul out in the world?
Exactly.
Once you can start to formulate those thoughts and sentences, then you have to align your soul to become that. Like, so
Right.
if I want my partner to take care of himself, then I should probably do the same thing for myself, right? Like there's a reasonable expectation that
Right.
if I can't do this for myself, then I can't bring in that other energy. So this is going to be where
Right.
you're going to start to distract yourself with other things. And when I say other things, what we're looking at is having to do with like more creative, spiritual things. I would love to see you getting into things like channeling, mediumship. I don't know what you do in your personal life for any of those types of activities, but I feel like that would be something
Hmm.
that you would very much benefit from right now, and especially introducing yourself to new groups of people where that are like-minded who are doing this type of thing. Maybe there's a metaphysical bookstore in your area or something similar where people kind of
Hmm.
congregate and talk about these things. These are the types of opportunities that I feel like you would very much benefit from, not only because it's raising your vibration, but it's introducing you to groups of people that are, new leads and possibilities to develop into something in the future.
Right. I I was listening a little bit when I first clicked that I wanted to talk, and it's so funny because I said to myself, I remember a time in my life where I felt like I I wanted to find somebody, and that was like my like one track focus. Like I want to find somebody, I want to find somebody, I want to find somebody, and then I don't know. I guess somewhere down the line, life happened, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe it's okay that I'm by myself. Maybe I need to learn how to be by myself and be comfortable being by myself, and that like sent me down like a whole like different path and journey. And I haven't been in a relationship per se for I think it's been like 15 or 16 years. And a lot of that has been by my choosing. Like I kind of like stepped out of the game. Like my parents got sick and I needed to take care of them, and I just didn't think it was fair for me to have any relationship when I needed to focus on, taking care of my family. That was like my number one thing. So both now my mom and my dad have passed away, and I feel now, it's been a couple of years since my mom passed away, um, that I'm in a place now where I'm okay. Maybe it's okay to start, maybe reopening that train of thought again, where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm ready to allow somebody to be in my space and in my world because I've been by myself for such a long period of time, and I needed to do that because of my parents, but I kind of would like to have now the companionship, but knowing that I'm okay with being by myself because I've been by myself for such a long time. So I could kind of relate to what you guys were saying. I think I do believe that when you say, you know what, I'm no longer looking for something, it's kind of when like things come to you. And I've never
Yeah.
been married, and I'm okay if I never get married, but it took me a long time to get there. So,
And that,
Yeah.
Veretta was talking earlier about somebody in spirit is going to be working on your behalf to make sure that you get the things that you really want. So, that the person that you settle down with is, truly like the right build and model that you really truly want, that meets all
right.
your needs. Now, who that person is specifically, Veretta can probably confirm this. your mother is going to, mama's love is going to be the thing that gets you through all of this. Like what mama's doing in the ethers to attract this person and to, really work the alchemy in ways that transcend our human comprehension. That's all designed for you, and nobody else. I don't know what your relationship was like with her in real life, but I can tell you right now from where she's at, just based on the stuff in your chart, that she is really fighting to make sure that you get that this person comes out the way that he's supposed to, or that he or she, however that's supposed to be, if that's a friend, we
Right.
don't know. So, but
Right.
it's mama's love that's making all of this happen and come true. So, that's gonna, if there's anything that you do in your meditation practice, if you do prayer or anything like that, I would say really
Mm-hmm.
open up to her and try to open up some communication, because I feel like that's a path, that's a gateway that you haven't quite explored yet or haven't been introduced to, and that I feel like that you would really benefit from. Brett, did you have something to add to that piece of it?
Well, so it's a male energy that I feel is pioneering the way for bringing her the right person. Mama's love, you're right, absolutely going to always be there. But the male energy that I feel that is like, I don't know, I want to say powerhousing what's to come is going to be sure that they're vetted properly, whomever they may be. And if they're not the right guy, they're going to be sent away, period. They're just going to be sent away. So, you're definitely right about mama's love being there, absolutely, wholeheartedly. But there's a male energy that's making stuff work behind the scenes. And he's the one that's just going to make sure that whatever pops up is the right thing, and otherwise they're jettisoned out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're good.
Well, I'm going to continue doing the things that I need to do. And you said something that kind of touched on my spirit, like, what you ever ask of what you want your future partner to have, work on yourself to have those things also. So I'm going to work on myself for the things that I have asked God that I want in my future partner. And it's so funny because I don't ask for looks. I have always asked for qualities. So I guess whatever I'm asking for, I should be in the same realm also if I want to attract it.
Well, and also
Right.
remember that.
Well,
Yeah, Brett, go ahead.
I was going to say, whom comes to you in the future is going to come to you very humbly. They're not forcing themselves on you. They're not going to be like up front going, "Hey, baby, I'm the one. Take me," or nothing. They're going to allow you to accept that they're there for you and can give you everything you need without painting a picture on the wall for you. So they're going to be very humble. They're not going to be a very boisterous, very macho man, if you will, but they'll be a man nonetheless in the manner of which is necessary, 100% necessary.
Right.
And I just
Okay.
wanted to add
Thank
that,
you. Thank you.
when we're dealing with the realm of alchemy, that we have to be so, so specific and also extremely careful, because anything that we put through, that runs through our mind as a program, as a want, as a desire, anything, when we voice that out into the universe, we're making little karma points in our favor that may actually come true, whether we want it to or not, even if it was just a joke. It's really funny how I can joke about a disease or an illness that is so obscure, it's like the likelihood of somebody catching it is getting hit by lightning kind of thing. And then what happens is, like, the next week or two, I hear from somebody that so and so came down with this, malady or disease that I was just now joking about. And it happens every
Right.
single time. It's exhausting. And so now I have to be really careful when I joke about these things, like when I talk about a meteor strike, that's the only thing that's separating us from being a true Final Fantasy game. The fact that that could actually happen, that we do have a meteor strike and then everybody's in a world of hurt one day, like, I'm going to be laughing hysterically forever when that happens, because, like, truly, what are the odds that something like that happens? So, for you, Leslie, I want to
Right.
impart this wisdom that when you're going through, like, my ideal partner, has these qualities, make sure that they're all phrased in the most positive, uplifting way possible, so that you're
Right.
attracting the
Right.
best energy that you can get. And then also make sure that what you ask for you may actually get. So just make sure that you double check that statement or that
Right.
information or whatever, and make sure, is this something that I really want? Because like when I say something like he knows how to party, for example, versus he
Right.
knows how to have a good time, or he knows how to
Right.
let loose. Like those are three very different expressions. He knows how to have a
Mhm.
he knows how to party. Well, is he partying with meth on the
Right.
weekends? Like we don't know that. So
Right.
that's where we have to be
Right.
careful, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree. I'll
I mean,
definitely be more intentional about exactly, to be, more mindful of the things that I say when I'm requesting,
yeah.
what I would
You
like
don't
my
you
future.
don't ever make a statement like, and I don't want XYZ, or I never
Right.
want to deal with 123, because you just dared
Right.
spirit. You just threw a gauntlet down, and they'll take it every freaking time. So, and
Right.
that people just don't get. No, I said I didn't want to have to deal with that. Well, and that's apparently what it was left to you. Courtesy of spirit with a big grin on their face. So don't
Right.
ever throw that gauntlet down. Spirit will take the bet every time.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
It was
Both of you.
great to
Thank you
have you
so
on the
much.
show, Leslie. Be sure to
Give
give us
me
a call
lots
back and
food
let us know how it
food
turns
for
out.
thought. I
Thank
will.
you.
I will.
Be sure
Thank
to
you.
subscribe, like, and share, and we'll catch up with you real soon. Take care, and until next time, many blessings.
Okay.
Take care and good night. Okay, so that is it for our show. I know we have a few minutes left, but we're going to go ahead and close this out early, since we're just about at the hour here. I do want to thank all of our guests for joining us today. As always, it was a terrific experience being here on the show to answer everybody's burning questions about life's deepest issues. Again, my name's Ernesto. I'll be with you guys again on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. for a 1 hour show. Me and Veretta will be back with you guys for all other things Uranian astrology. Be sure to go over to eastrologer.tv. And if you did enjoy your reading with us here on the air, be sure to contribute to the show stream as well. That really does help our overhead expenses. Veretta, you can find her at verettavision.com. And we will be back with you guys on Sunday at 10 a.m. for our next show. Thanks so much, everybody, and Beretta, thank you so much as always for being lovely and helping me out with this whole thing. It really does mean a lot.
No worries. Love it.
Well, thanks everybody, and we'll catch up with you guys soon. Until next time, take care and good night. Good luck and Godspeed.
Bye bye.